Boom, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Deshaun, or also known as the Cat's Pajamas, but you can just call me Zabu. And welcome to another episode of the Afro Podcast. I don't have much of an afro on right now. My hair is just really curly. I went swimming, and apparently, when I go swimming in a pool or in any water, honestly, if I just go swimming, period, my hair curls up like crazy. So that's cool, I guess. And now it's like this. It's been kind of irritating at work because my hair keeps getting in my face, but that's aside the point. Let's get into this podcast. As usual, I asked everybody on my Instagram, on my story, let me know any questions or topics you want me to cover in today's podcast. So if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you are. The link, of course, is in the description down below, so you can follow me and be a part of the next one. And if you're not subscribed and you're new, make sure you do so because I upload a podcast every Friday, random gaming videos every weekend on both Saturday and Sunday, and Tuesday and Thursday I always have like a weekly video. So right now, Tuesdays, I'm playing Crash the Insane Trilogy, and Thursday, I am playing... Sorry. And Thursday, I'm playing 2K, like a little roster sweep thing, so make sure you check out the channel. Anyway, moving on with the podcast, we got a decent amount of questions today, and then I have a super important topic I want to talk about later. So let's just go ahead and get into that right off the bat. We got some questions from my boy Eddie, who is running the Click Clothing. And the first thing he wants me to talk about is cats, just the animal cats. I'm more of a dog person. I love dogs more than cats. I've only met a couple of cool cats in my life. I don't know if you cool cats because people call each other cats all the time. I've only met a couple cool cats that I actually would like, oh, I wouldn't mind having that. But it's kind of rare for me. I don't like how moody they are and how kind of random they are sometimes. I don't know. I don't really vibe with cats like that. Why am I so freaking orange in this light? Holy freaking crap. I'm like literally like glowing right now. What the heck? Hold up. Let me not be that. I don't know what the heck was going on. I was like glowing orange. This is like my very first COD video on this channel. Like I was orange. Anyway, beside the point. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of cats. I think if you're really busy, like, you know, you're really busy all the time at home or at work and whatnot, and you don't have a lot of time to give your pet attention, I think cats are a really great pet to have for that kind of thing. So if that's what you're looking for, I think cats are dope. But I think my favorite cat I've ever met, and especially the most handsome cat, because he's a handsome boy, is my homegirl Marissa's cat, Benny. Benny is a G. That is a handsome cat, like, right there. His eyes, oh my lord. And he's not social in the slightest. Like, last time I was there, he insisted on not being in the living room, and when we made him be in the living room, he kept hiding under the couch and not wanting to be around. But when I am able to get pets in, he's cool. So, I don't know. I can understand why some people may like cats, but to me, dogs are just 10 times better. I just love everything about dogs. So, that's just me, though. You like your own. Animals are cool regardless, so who cares? It's an animal. And then he also wanted me to talk about the Click Clothing real quick. So if you guys don't know or didn't see my last, I think it was roster sweep or crash video. I don't remember which one. I was wearing a baby blue windbreaker, and I showed everyone. Oh yeah, it was in my roster sweep video. And a timeout, I showed everybody the logo, the Click logo, that I had a baby blue windbreaker from them. If you've seen me in my podcast, every time I have a hoodie on, it's usually a Click merch thing, unless it's a Mustachiomoto merch, and I got Banana Brandon merch on the way. Let's freaking go. Supporting your friends. Click merch is dope. It started up by my boy Eddie, who, dances, and the Click has been a dance group for a while, but then he started making merch for them. Or for us, really, not for them. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, it's its own, like, person. They're making it for us. And Click merch is dope. The quality on it is super duper fire. The colors and designs they have are really dope. However, I will say it's a little bit on the pricey side for merch. But, I mean, if you're going to be spending like $50 or $100 on all these other expensive clothing places or whatever, I think you can cough up just a little bit extra just to support your friends. But, I mean, I feel the price is justified because I know who it's going to. It's a dope person. I love the colors they give me. It's obviously great quality, and the boy Eddie will ship it to you, or if you're like living around like, where we live, he'll just drive it to wherever the heck you are. You're at work, you're at your grandma's house, you're at home, you're at the park, he'll just deliver it. So, support his dream, man, support his ambition. He's just really trying to get this clothing page off the thing. He sold out just about every drop he's had, and there's a reason for that because Click merch is fire. So please check him out down below. This isn't sponsored or anything. He wanted me to talk about it, and I'm gonna let you guys know about it. I have like 6 pieces of Click merch, so make sure you check it out. And of course, when I get the Banana branded merch in, I'm gonna be talking about that and telling you guys how I feel about it. I already know it's gonna be fire because Banana Brandon, everything he does is fire. But regardless, Click merch. At least go check out their page. The link is of course down below. Love you guys. Love you, Eddie. Especially them windbreakers. I wore the baby blue windbreaker today just to go to the bank. Oh, I felt fire. Low key, I was like, I'm looking kind of heat. A little heat. And I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. I'm going to get a pair of shoes customized for my girlfriend that is going to match that windbreaker. And it's going to be fire. It's going to be fire. Oh my God. Bro, the people I'm cool with, they go hand in hand. I love them. Anyway, moving on. I actually got a question from the man I was talking about earlier for a little bit, Banana Brandon, the man himself. He said the worst popular shoes. Now, this took me a minute to think about because I was like, what? Like, I wanted to say designer shoes, but I feel like they're so different and unique, and they're obviously like their own market, and they're super popular that I actually kind of like them. I respect them. I don't like all of them, but I think there are a lot of really cool ones. So I was like, I can't say designer. I wanted to say all white Air Forces because they're so freaking common. It's like, oh my God, can you pick anything else? Especially when people who don't know how to take care of shoes wear them. It's like, why did you even get those? But those are just such classics, and you can do much worse than them that I can't really hate on them that much anymore, especially now that I don't work at a shoe store, so I can't hate on those. I wanted to say Team Jordans, but I'm not going to hate on somebody who may not be able to afford a retro, so they're going with the next best thing. Look, if a Jordan is a Jordan, if you can get one, great. I think a couple of the Team Jordans are decent for, like, outdoor basketball if you're, like if you have a kid who goes to school and just tears up shoes, but he wants Jordans, getting him a Team Jordan really isn't that bad because he's able to just kind of, like, tear on through them. They give a lot of the same features that retros have, just not with as cool of the look or the history behind them. So I can't hate on Team Jordans, and I can't really hate on a lot of other of the cheaper shoes because those are some people's only options and only alternatives. So I'm not going to hate on what people are going through and what they have to buy. But then I realized the dumbest thing you could put on your feet, to me, flip-flops are so freaking trash. I hate flip-flops. I hate them. They're cool on, like, anime characters when they're wearing, like, those kind of sandals because they're somehow able to, like, do all this crazy fighting in them. And I think they look cool on certain people. I think certain guys can pull them off. I think women look better in flip-flops, but flip-flops as a whole are so freaking trash, especially when you can wear slides. Like, you have this piece of, like, styrofoam, and then you put a plastic thong on it, and there's your shoe. Like, there you go. Go walk around the beach in that. They are uncomfortable. They fall apart super duper easily. They're cheaply made, so I mean, I guess like you can get a flip-flop for, I don't know, probably like $10 or something like that. And I get that, like, the appeal of it is, oh, it's like a summertime beachy shoe, so it goes with a lot of outfits, or, oh, you can walk in the water in them. But they're just like, why? Like, when you walk in the water with them, you're getting out, and you feel like that crap. I don't like it. And the biggest reason I don't like flip-flops is I don't like the thong. I don't like anything in between my toes. And having a big plastic frickin' crap thing in between my big toe and my second biggest toe, unless your toes are built together where your second toe is your biggest one or your longest one. I don't like that. The person I've seen who can pull off flip-flops the best is my boy Kevin. Kevin, you're the only one I've seen who can pull off flip-flops, but I'm glad you got some shoe game now. Because you would run through the frickin' pair of sandals that you had. But slides beat flip-flops in every regard. If you're using flip-flops to go in the water, just go barefoot. Like, I know you might cut your feet on some rocks or whatever, but just freaking go barefoot. The flip-flops are probably going to fall off and fall apart anyway, so just go and do that. So, I don't know. A lot of you guys probably forgot flip-flops really existed. And I'm sorry to anybody who likes flip-flops. Honestly, if I had to choose between flip-flops or Crocs, I'm taking Crocs right off the bat. Crocs are way better. I got a couple friends who are diehard fans of Crocs. I don't like them, personally, but I respect Crocs. You can like Crocs. They're cool. Way better than flip-flops. Sticking with the shoe theme, we are going to talk about the next question, which came from my homie Will. And first and foremost, Will, let me tell you right now, you are a legend. I'm super duper proud of you. I'm going to be talking about you later in the last topic, so I guess you can go in the description and look at the show notes and you could be able to tell what I'm going to talk about. But I'm using you as an example. But Will's an amazing guy. I freaking love you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. You're killing it. Proud of you. Thank you for DMing me that you liked the podcast last time. I know you're interacting with it. I'm like, oh my God. You know, whatever. He said my top 5 Jordans of all time. So the way I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own personal. So don't get offended if your favorite retro isn't higher on this list or whatever, or may not even made the list. This is a personal list of things that I love in the order that I think they should be for myself. So I don't care how you feel. I don't care how the world feels. This is me. This is how I feel. And we're kicking it off right off the bat with the 5th spot. To me, is Retro 12s. Retro 12s, in my opinion, are the most different and one of the cleanest looking retros out of 1 through 14. Everything after that is kind of like whatever. But dude, 12s are so freaking clean. The little I can't remember what they call it, but it's like a Japanese sunset type of thing. That's what all those little lines are. It's such a good idea, and they have a good amount of good colorways, like the cool gray ones. I have the Bordeaux ones in the International Flight, which is like a Japanese type things. Flu games, taxis, freaking all of that. The cherries, 12s are clean, man. They are clean. They're comfortable, but they're not the most comfortable retro, so I can kind of see why maybe some people may not like them. And I guess it's a little bit of an acquired taste. Not as much as my number 1 spot. My number 1 spot's probably going to shock the heck out of some people, but I don't know. I really, really like 12s. For a little bit, they were my favorite retro look-wise, but I don't know. I kind of got over them a little quick. And then in my number 4 spot is, so ironic, the 4s themselves. Retro 4s are dope. Right off the bat, let me tell you guys, Retro 4s are lit. They have plenty of dope colorways, whether it be the Cactus Jacks, which at the time when those came out, they were my favorite ones until I saw the gray Cause ones. Bro, those Cause, those great, untouchable. But, they have those. The first pair of Retro 4s I ever saw were the Motorsport 4s, and I really wanted to get them, and I had a pair of mine on hold for the longest time at my first store, my first Foot Locker I worked at, and then they closed the store down and shipped them away without me knowing, so I couldn't buy them before we shipped them, and that was really disappointing and upsetting, but whatever, water under the bridge, I guess. But dude, Retro 4s are clean. There's just one thing holding them back from being super duper amazing, and that is the fact that if you're not wearing a men's size, Retro 4s become kind of ugly to a certain extent. They lose the magic part of them for certain colorways more than others, but anybody who knows shoes knows that Retro 4 and men's sizes look fire. Then you get to the grade school size, you're like, nah. And then you get down to the even lower size, you're like, I don't want that. And it's kind of unfortunate. I think it's the most apparent in the Pure Money 4s, which is all white, and then the little lace holder at the top, which is in my opinion, one of the most iconic parts of it. That one and the little cage on the side. The lace holder is a shiny silver on the men's pairs, right? The super shiny silver that basically makes that shoe popular. I don't think anybody would have bought it if it wasn't for that super shiny part. But then you go to a grade school size, and it goes from super shiny and pretty to this gray plastic crap, and you're like, why? And you go into even smaller sizes, and it's literally not even a separate part of the shoe. It's just built into it, and I think that's super trash. So Retro 4s, that's the only thing holding them back, I guess. I don't think they could compete with my next 3 shoes, but they're super comfortable, by the way. Got that little air bubble on the bottom and super clean, but if you're not wearing a men's size, you're missing out on some of the factors that make them amazing. Moving into my number 3 spot are the Retro 1s. Now, if you don't have Retro 1s in your top 3 or 5 retros all time, I honestly don't know what you're doing. I mean, you want to talk about historical factor? Obviously, they are the reason we're even talking about shoes like this to that extent. super duper changed the game. We all know the stories about them. The amount of color waves is freaking ridiculous. I think the best color wave of Retro 1 is the shattered backboards. And then, of course, you have ones like Court Purples, Royal Purples, Pine Greens. You have all the off-white ones. They came out with freaking Gatorade ones, which weren't my personal favorite, but my boy Simon can rock the heck out of those. And a bunch of really dope colors and stuff like that. And Retro 1 highs are fire. Mids are a little disrespected. Like, it's kind of a meme to not like mids, but I think mids are cool. Like, mids could be cool. Like, leave mids alone. They're fine. Like, shut up. Um, and then Retro 1 lows are actually pretty fire. I don't like a lot of low top retros. Like, the 12 lows are terrible. The 4 lows are terrible. And a bunch of other low top retros I think are undesirable. But the 1 low tops are nice, especially a couple years ago they released the shattered backboard color wave and like a white and purple. I thought those were really dope. So I don't know. Retro 1s are super clean. The only thing holding it back, I guess, would be how uncomfortable they can be after long wearings. But I mean, it's a small price to pay for how clean a lot of the color waves look. The silhouette and the way, like, so many people have done things with those. It's hard not to love the Retro 1s. They're always an instant classic. You need at least one pair of them in your closet. And my boy Devin and I came away with the steal and we got the Turbo Greens on discount. Woo! That was a steal. That was a steal and a half. Turbo Greens were super duper slept on. I didn't even know what they were until I saw them in person. And then I was like, I need to have those. So, yay. Retro 1s, number 3. Number 3. And then our number 2 spot. But it's going to be a little bit of a surprise because if the 1s aren't number 1 on people's list, it's usually this one. And for me, it's the Retro 11s. Now, I didn't know what Retro 11s were for the longest time. I had seen the movie Space Jam before I got into shoes, but I never really noticed them or looked at them. But bro, when I got into shoes and I really looked at all the colorways and stuff like that of 11s, they became more and more fire. I think the first colorway I saw were the Baron lows, and I was like, eh. Like, for me, 11 lows aren't really that desirable. So I was like, whatever. And then I saw the UNC, which was like the white and baby blue, and I was like, I mean, I guess it's cool or whatever, but not really like crazy. And then, then I saw the, I can't remember if it was the white, if it was like the UNC high top ones, or if it was the Win like 96, or Win like 85 ones, or the Win like 96 ones. But either way, when I saw the all red one, I was like, oh, that's what they're supposed to look like, bro. My mind was just like, ridiculous. I think the Space Jams are really clean and like really dope, but they're not my favorite. And then when I saw the Concords, that changed my life. I was like, I don't care what happens. I'm gonna need those. There's a reason that 11s always come out in December because it's the perfect like holiday time shoe, and bro, those shoes always sell. Like, you ask anybody who works at Foot Locker the day after or even a couple hours after 11's release, do you have any more pairs? No. Unless it's some like really big crazy size. No, they don't. And men's sizes. Grade school, yeah. And that's another thing that's really cool about the 11s is they look good in every single size range. So if you wear grade school, they have some women's ones. Even in the preschool sizes are pretty clean. Like, they're pretty good. They're built really nice. I think the high tops are still the kings of them. They just look more of like a basketball shoe. But I think it's the patent leather, I think it's called, like the shiny part of it, is really what makes it. Like, those look like dress shoes, and they're so comfortable. Everything about 11s are lit. There's so many good colorways. My favorite is, of course, the Concords, but, everybody loves 11s. They love 11s. Ridiculously fire. I have 2 pairs of them. I have the Win like 96s, and I have the Platinum, which are super slept on, but whatever. I guess no one's going to really like those anyway. Then my number 1 retro of all time. It's always been my number 1 since I got my first pair of them. The Retro 13s are my favorite retro of all time. And I'm going to tell you why. First and foremost, it's kind of like I have a sweet spot for it because the first pair of retros that I bought myself, like when I started working at Foot Locker, I bought some Team Jordans, and I don't know what I was thinking, but they were the Jumpman Team 2s, I think it was, like the Team Jordan version of the 13s. And I got the white and black ones because I thought those were the shoes I saw in 2K. Oh my god, I don't know anything about shoes. Let me get these. I got them as a gift, and I love those shoes so much. I was like trying to flex them at school and trying to like not let anyone step on them and whatnot. Oh my god, young Deshaun. And then I saw that I didn't have the 13s, and I saw the first one I was the History of Flight 13s, which is like the all white with a little bit of red trim up on the top and on the bottom. Bro, when I saw those, I was like, "Oh my god. I need those shoes." So I saved up money, and when they released, I bought them. I was able to get them on discount, which that helped out a whole lot. But I freaking bought them, and having my own pair of retros that was mine, that I bought myself, my own money, and I have these like clean white 13s. Bro, I was on another planet when I got those. I was so happy. And it's just everything, like it just adds that sweet spot for me. They're super duper comfortable. The first time I put my foot in one, I was like, "Holy crap, like this is comfortable." Like comfortable. Now obviously like my 13s I've kind of like walked through them, so it's not that same cushiony, but still, bro, 13s are ridiculous. I love them. The He Got Game is always going to be my favorite color wave. That's my favorite color wave of any shoe, period, because that was the shoe I saw in 2K that I was like, "Man, I wish I had a pair of Jordans like that." So when I finally re-released them not too long ago, um I got me a pair, and I'm in love with them, dude. I think they look so freaking good. They just stand out immediately. Oh my god. And then I have 4 pairs of 13s. I got the He Got Games, the Reverse He Got Games, the History of Flights, like I said, and the Breads. All fire. They're all fire. Super duper slept on. But I guess I could see why some people may not like the look of them. They're a little different from the usual things of the retro. So I guess I can kind of see why you may not like them. But just for me, I love them way too much. Now that we're done talking about shoes for 5 million years, I'm sure all my friends who were sneakerheads had a little bit of a blast with that one because, man, talking about shoes, we could talk about shoes all day. Um, Now I got 2 questions from the love of my life, Miss Marianne. And the first question is, would I look into my future if I was able to? And I would say no, because first and foremost, I have no idea how like time travel works, like traveling in the future and all that. How could you see how yourself does if you haven't done those decisions yet? And I don't even want to get into that. But I think one of the best parts about life is, and for some people the worst, but for me it's like one of the best, is the unknown factor. Like when you live your life chasing your dream or your goals or whatever, you have no idea how you're going to get there. You're just figuring it out as you go. And the process of going there, like of getting to the successful peak, like reaching your destination, I love it so much that I wouldn't want to see what I look like at the end of it. Like I want it to be new. I want it to be fresh. Like I want to, just go through it and take things as they come. So I probably wouldn't personally. I guess the only reason I would consider doing it was to see if I did make it successful or not. And if I looked in the future and I wasn't, then I would obviously have to work 10 times as hard and figure out what I did wrong. But yeah, I probably wouldn't myself. Then she also asked me, what traits of mine do I want my kids to have? And I really hope that my kids, first and foremost, get my sense of humor. Hopefully they get or a sense of humor and are able to make people laugh. That'll carry them pretty far in their life. I hope they have the ability to deal with really hard things, going through struggles or things you may be going through mentally. I hope they are able to deal with it the way I have, which is a lot of it has to do with losing myself in video games and just escaping the world and being, enriched in video games. But also just like hanging out with the right people, doing the right things, not when depression hits you, not leaning towards suicidal tendencies or drinking too much or smoking a whole bunch or doing any type of drugs. It's kind of a I do pride myself to a certain extent on how I deal with stuff like that because I'm 21 years old, and to this day I still haven't ever smoked or drank anything. I'm not saying like anyone who does is like terrible and you're a piece of garbage and how dare you and whatnot, but those dark times I've been in, like, I didn't drink my problems away or whatever, because that can lead to even more problems and basically lead to you self-destructing. So I hope they're able to learn that, and I hope they're able to develop a belief and confidence in themselves that I have in myself and I have in my friends and my family and stuff like that and other people in general. I hope they just are confident people, and obviously it's really up to me to instill that stuff in them the right way. So I'm going to make sure I do my job, that I help them and prepare them as best as I can for the future. But I hope they just are ready to work hard at whatever the heck they're trying to do, learn all the same lessons that I had to learn struggling with certain things, and, you know, worrying about, like, oh, how are we going to make rent at the end of the month and stuff like that. I hope they learn those lessons of not wanting to be in that position and things like that, so they can continue to be amazing. So, yeah, when I have kids, I hope they have those traits from me. And now, kind of going into kind of what I was saying a little bit earlier, and I said I was going to use Will as an example here. Biggest thing I wanted to talk about in this podcast is working hard in everything you do. And when I say that, I mean working hard, chasing your dreams, is very important. It's pretty much the most important thing in your life. It's what gives you a purpose and what gives you individuality when you're not doing the same old thing that everyone else is doing, when you're doing something that you genuinely want to do, even if that's in a crowded area, I guess. Like if you want to be a YouTuber, or you want to, oh, sorry, or you want to make music. Like a lot of people be like, wow, another person wants to be a YouTuber, another person wants to make music. But like, don't listen to those people. But, you know, being yourself and doing it in a way that only you could do it is basically what makes you who you are. Like, it's a reflection of your traits that make you you. So it's important. But a lot of people forget that while it's important to work hard in your dreams, you still got to work your job. You still got to go in, clock in, work as hard as you can while you're clocked in, and when you clocked out, like, leave that stuff at the door and go home and focus on you. But you got to make sure you're working. You know, you can't just be, I don't really care about this job, so I don't really care how good I do and whatnot. Like, you can't be doing that, man. You got to be working hard and pushing yourself. Like, I hear a lot of people say stuff like, oh, they don't pay me enough to clean that, or they don't pay me enough to take out the trash or whatever. Like, the only time I can agree with something like that is if you're a part-timer and they're asking you to, like, close the store, or they're asking you to, like, work the safe or, like, write the schedule or something. I get that because that's not in your job description. But if it's just general stuff like, I don't know, maybe sweeping the store or something, like, yeah, do that. Like, they're not paying me enough. What are they paying you for? Like, they're paying you to be there. And ever since I was 16, I have always had a job. Always. I've never been without a job since I got my first job. Even moving between jobs and stuff like that. Never not had a paycheck to look forward to. So I realize, and my dad taught me, that working hard is one of the biggest things, and my mom, my granny, that working hard is one of the most important traits you need to have in life. And the hardest part about it is having the balance of not sacrificing your performance at work for your career, but especially not sacrificing your career for your job. Like, you don't want to be working harder at, like, McDonald's than you do on your freaking music or something, you know? You want to make sure you have that balance, but you got to, working hard at your job will open up opportunities, and I'm sorry if I'm saying working hard way too much, but it'll open up opportunities for you that you would not have gotten else or otherwise. That's what I'm thinking of. Like, prime example, first store I worked at, and at Foot Locker, I had this manager who was super cool, and I would work super hard there all the time, right? I would always work hard at that store. Well, looking back, I could have worked a lot harder, but basically when it was time to do something, I was there, you know? I was the one who cared more than a lot of people who worked there. So I impressed that manager, was cool with him, and then he eventually left the company. Obviously, a couple of years later, fast forward, he meets an entrepreneur guy who they're talking, and he brings my name up, and then I get to meet this entrepreneur guy, and then I get to apprentice this entrepreneur, and I was able to learn a lot about business and how business works and a lot about life. And I wouldn't have gotten that if I was just another face that he's worked with before. Like, I wouldn't have had that opportunity, and I learned so much from that I'm applying doing YouTube, like work ethic wise and getting the bigger picture and learning these different things about saving money and whatnot. Like, I wouldn't have had that if I didn't work my freaking butt off every shift I could. Um, when you're underage, the most amount of hours you're supposed to work is 20. I worked hard enough to where my managers, where it's illegal, but one of them would do it anyway, would give me like 31. I would take that's more money in my pocket being a young man, you feel me? Like, I was able to have a little bit of extra money to the side to where I was able to, my cousins and I used to take the bus home from school all the time. I was able to afford their bus ticket, a snack, and a drink from them every single time we would be going home from school. And I felt really good about that because it was like, I was able to give them something fun to look forward to at the end of the day, and we had plenty of memories coming from that, like going to Target and whatnot and getting all kinds of snacks. But I felt good because I was able to do those things. So, you just got to work hard in everything you do, every single thing, especially your job. Don't be lazy in it. I'll use my boy Will, like I said I was going to do earlier, as a prime example of that. I was an assistant manager at Kids Foot Locker, and he was a part-time associate. And I would get scheduled to work with him a lot. I was pretty much the only one he would work with, actually, thinking about it. I was the only manager who he would work with, which that's a whole nother can of worms to open. But anyway, me and Will, and he, every single day at the job, worked his frickin' butt off, dude. Like, it didn't matter, like, organizing stuff in the back, grabbing shoes fast, helping customers, ringing people up, going to get change, anything, bro. He was on top of everything. He would always help me out in anything I needed from him. Like, if I asked, like, Will, I'm gonna need you to go in the back and, like, do this, he would do it. And it made me, like, want to train him and made me want to work with him. So I trained him on, like, a lot of the stuff I knew. And so he knew how to do a lot of stuff, so he'd be good at it. And I was like, dang, bro, this kid is 16 years old with a job, like, reminding me of, like, wanting to be the best you can be. And he's just killing it, man. And he did. Like, he was he was one of my favorite people I've ever worked with, ever in my life. Like, me and that dude could work good anywhere together. And then at school, he was doing good. He was playing football, which is his main thing, which, by the way, Will, you're killing it in football. I'm happy to see you, like, achieving your dreams and stuff like that, playing well and whatnot. So keep pushing, man. You're, step by step. But he would be doing good in school, running for, I think it was, like, senior class president or something like that. I don't know how, I never went to a regular school, so I don't know exactly what he was running for. I have no idea how any of that works. But he was killing it in that. Like, he had dreams and ambitions to be doing that. He wanted to be a leader, inspire and help out other people. And then, obviously, like I said, football is his main thing. And, he's going to college now. And he's, playing football over there and just killing it, doing his thing, working out more and more. He's a beast, man. He's an animal. And, like, I don't know that much about his family. I believe, and I'm not trying to make assumptions or whatever, I don't think he's like, I don't think he's not like super duper rich where they're like, they don't even have to work, it doesn't matter, like they have millions of houses and whatnot, but they're not like super duper like struggling. I don't want to just assume like I'm not even going to get into that, but basically what I'm trying to say is he works like he has absolutely nothing. Like, he has no home, no food, no nothing, barely scraping by. He works like he is like he has to make it. Like, every minute of his job matters. And I respect that about him. And I think that's super duper important because when he's asked to do certain things, maybe on a team, like the coach is going to ask him to do stuff, or he's going to need to bulk up, or he might get injured and he needs to go to, needs to start rehabilitating his body, or whatever the case may be. I know for a fact, with that work ethic, there's literally nothing he can't do. Like, there's literally not a single thing. He is going to be good at every single thing he does because of that work ethic, and because he knows, if I clock in, I need to work my hardest. If I'm on the field, I need to work my hardest. If I want to get more minutes on the field, I need to work my hardest. He is a hardworking man and has always been one as long as I've known him. And I'm freaking proud of the dude. And I know a couple people who will value their career higher than they'll value their job. And then it's just kind of like, okay, I mean, I get that you value your career higher than that. I do too, but like not working hard at all, being lazy, and like missing out on a lot of different things, like it's hard to like applaud that or to be behind that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Make sure if you have a job, you're working hard at it. I'm not saying you have to go above and beyond and go crazy, like, you know, making that your whole life. But when you're clocked in, make sure you're doing what you need to do. You're working to the best of your abilities. You're being successful. You're doing great. And then when you clock out, leave all that at the door. Go home, get a good night's sleep, or go work on whatever you need to work on. So that'll wrap up this podcast. I hope all you guys enjoyed this one. I, of course, had a lot of fun making it for you guys. Shout out again to everybody I talked about and everyone who interacted with the podcast with the questions on my Instagram. Like I said, all the links are going to be down below in the bio. I love all you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow for a brand new video. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Blah.